Let's have some fun today. If you could get yourself to focus when and where you need to, and you could shift your state or your feelings so that you feel like doing things you've planned when it's actually time to take action, would having those skills change your life? If you're like other adults that I've asked over the years, the answer is a resounding yes. But how? You are where your attention is, and what you focus on grows. You're the meaning maker in your life. Your feelings are a direct result of your thinking, and you create your own reality. We all do. So, are you ready to harness your focus before your dreams gently slip through your fingers, or you run out of steam and just quit? I hope so. Today I'm talking about one aspect of embracing your superpower and becoming the visionary of your life. That's right, developing your foresight and conscious focusing so you can connect with your ideas about how things can be different for you, how they can actually improve.
Welcome to the Living Beyond ADHD podcast. If you're looking for a fresh perspective and actionable steps on hot topics from focus to follow-through to self-management and more, you are in the right place. Welcome your host, innovative educator, coach, and psychotherapist, Dr. B.
When I first started studying timelines in my NLP training, the importance of being able to transition back and forth between in time and through time became very apparent. Think of in time as in the zone, your natural ability to hyperfocus, and think of through time as the ability to see what's going on around you in relation to time, so that you can stop and start through time. For most adults, being in the zone and hyper-focusing isn't a problem. Quite the opposite. They can be absorbed in the zone for hours and lose sight of what was important to accomplish that day. Without the ability to pop in and out of hyper-focus as well as engage other executive function skills so that you keep yourself on track for the day's events, that superpower of yours may cause you lots of problems. I prefer the superpower of conscious focusing, which is a bit different than hyperfocusing. It's intentional. It's where you and your attention intentionally go rather than being hijacked. If you enjoy photography rather than just taking snapshots, you're being intentional. You see the shot you want, you set up for it, you adjust your lens to consciously focus on that shot, and you capture it when you click the shutter. You're consciously focusing yourself and the camera to capture the image you see. Conscious focusing is intentional focusing. It's being fully present for that which you're consciously focusing on. And because you're experiencing something with intention, you'll most likely gain a knowing of it and make a rich memory to recall your knowing. Your knowing is beyond knowledge or information because it comes from within you. In 1961, Robert Heinlein published Stranger in a Strange Land. I bring this up because the book, it had a great influence on modern culture. The most significant to me is the word grok, which literally means to drink and figuratively means to comprehend, to be one with. When we have a knowing, we grok the information by the experience that leads us to the knowing. What I also learned from the book is that each and every one of us has our own reality, and sometimes very little of it overlaps. Plus, it's all made up by each of us anyway. Do you grok that? So what if it's all made up and you're the author? What do you want your daily script to be? Where do you want your focus to go and stay until you shift it to something else? And what about foresight? Do you look ahead to what's coming? Or do you get broadside by life events on a regular basis, because many people do? Did you know that foresight is a skill that you can develop just like all the other skills that I talk about? It's true. I trust you understand how important foresight is, to be able to look ahead and know when your bills are coming and when they're due to be paid, when you have to make appointments with doctors or take your car in for maintenance, or even get maintenance things done at your home. If you don't have foresight and don't know how to look ahead, then you won't plan or schedule, because what would be the point? Seriously. So what pulls your focus or your attention from where it needs to be? I hear so many people say they can't focus. And we know that's not true, because you focus on lots of things. It would be more accurate to be saying that you can't get yourself to focus on things you need to focus on when you need to focus on them, and actually take action on them as well. Saying you can't focus is a limiting belief, and then you can't focus because you've trained yourself to believe that you can't focus. So now you're going to need to retrain yourself to focus and correct your limiting belief so that you can focus. Not being able to focus when and where you need to is a symptom of an executive function skill challenge. And as you already know, skills can be developed. You are as limited as you believe you are. And when what you believe is based on your past instead of the now and your future life, you're going to continue to reinforce and get what you already have: limitations. To break through all the limitations and learn to be capable and confident, you need to start reprogramming your mind for what you want, not what you've already had. If you're focus challenged, there are solutions for you in this episode, so keep listening. And if you aren't yet a member of my Living Beyond ADHD Facebook group, I highly recommend that you ask to join. Be sure to answer the few questions that are asked of you so you can be approved into the group. Everyone gets approved into the group if they follow the rules, so to speak. And if you don't, your request will be deleted and you'll need to ask again to join. That is, if you didn't answer the questions that we asked. We have rules so that the group is a safe space, free of judgment, and a place where you can show up and interact with like-minded adults. You can laugh a little, learn a little, and most of all, be connected to a positive energy community. Do you have questions about adult ADHD or developing your executive function skills? I figure you do, because you're listening to this episode. Well, I go live in the Facebook group on Fridays, and I answer questions posed by group members. We put up a post so that you can do this. It's definitely worth joining us to benefit from my 30 plus years of expertise working with adults just like you. That is, if you're seeking answers. Maybe you already have all your answers, and maybe not. And if you want to start developing your executive function skills with more help than my podcast episodes or Facebook Lives or the engaging posts in the group, I've created lots and lots of free resources for you to benefit from. You'll find them under resources on my website. I got a question for you. Do you have problems with time management or procrastination or decision making? And do you want to develop those skills and make your life easier? If yes, then let's work together, because I have a great opportunity for you. You'll have 30 days for each of the master classes to work with me directly to gain a knowing of the master class methodology that I'm teaching, not just get training. Because knowledge is not power. It's being able to apply knowledge that's incredibly powerful. And that's what you'll get working with me with any of these master classes. And if you've been wanting to know more about executive function skills and their development, as well as how that happens in the Adventures in Achievement Foundational Skills program, I highly, highly recommend that you get yourself on the wait list right away. We've written a wonderful series of educational emails that are going out to those of you on the wait list. You have everything to gain and nothing to lose. Plus, you'll be the first to hear about other opportunities that are coming very soon. So much for you to benefit from. That is, if that's of interest to you. For those of you who have been longtime listeners, you know that I'm really big on wins and their importance in your life. Consciously focusing on your wins every day trains your mind for consistency and helps you intentionally set your energy at a higher frequency of positivity so that you can offset the massive number of negatives that are flying around every day. Having a wins mindset will shift how you experience your life, even during very challenging times like now. How you experience life and the meaning that you give life events contributes greatly to the quality of your life. We don't have control over people, places, or things. However, we do have control over the meanings that we give them. It's important for you to stand guard at the doorway to your mind, because whatever you focus on grows. And do you want to grow more weeds in your mental garden? If not, then consciously focusing on your wins will continue to attract more wins into your life, all leading you to a state of mind and life that you want. You are a precious child of God and the universe, and you are called a human being, not a human doing, for good reason. You don't have to earn your value. You were born with it. Your value comes from who you are, not what you do. And if you need a place to know that's true, be sure to join the Facebook group so you can be with others who will celebrate your wins with you and affirm that you are more than okay as you, the human being. It's a judgment-free zone, so join us. So what's it going to be for you today? If you filed your taxes before your 6-month extension expired, that's awesome. If you washed, dried, and put away all your clean dishes, that's wonderful. If you decided to commit to 15 minutes a day, every day, for your personal growth, that's fantastic. You get the point. Celebrate them all, big and small, and none of this half-hearted celebrating. You've got to feel it. You've got to mean it. And that means exaggerating your emotions instead of leaving them flat. Yes, wow, awesome. Because your mind records and builds habits for you with consistency. So celebrating wins every day is the fast track to positive changes in your life. How much time do we have? Not much. So let's get to it.
This podcast is sponsored by Pure Potential with Dr. B. You can head over to drbarbaracohen.com and find the podcast episodes and transcripts. Great free content, plus information on programs and products, including the groundbreaking online Adventures in Achievement Foundational Skills Training and Coaching Program. You can also learn about Dr. B's masterclasses on decision-making, time management, and banishing procrastination. That's drbarbaracohen.com.
Back to being focus challenged and lacking foresight. I have an exercise for you to experience. So get a piece of paper now or use your digital device to write on, whatever works best for you. Please, though, join me with this exercise so you get this experience and this knowing. First, make a list of all the things that you are able to focus on and stay focused on until you complete them. How many things are on your list? 100? 1,000? The point is, there are many things that you're able to stay focused on. Next, write down next to each of the things you put on the list that you're able to stay focused on, the reason you can stay focused. Next, look for themes or commonalities in the reasons you listed. And let's say that the reasons or theme that you're able to stay focused is because it's interesting or it's fun. Then you have your solution. For you to be able to stay focused, it has to be fun or interesting, or both. Figuring out how you're going to make things fun and interesting for yourself, that is what you get to have fun with. Because remember, you are the meaning maker of your life, and things are fun or interesting to you because you have decided they are, not because they truly are. And drawing from a previous episode about busting limiting beliefs, we can now bust your limiting belief about not being able to focus. Because if you're saying, I can't focus, we already know that belief isn't true because you have a list of things that you can focus on just fine. And we know what makes it possible for you to focus as well. So your limiting belief that you can't focus is just a plain old lie. Instead, the truth is that you can focus just fine when you make things fun and interesting for yourself. Remember, you are 100% responsible 100% of the time for the outcomes in your life. And that means you are responsible and response-able for making things fun and interesting, no one else. Remember that I mentioned foresight earlier in this episode and how important it is to develop your foresight? Think of your foresight as seeing ahead of time. When you can see ahead of time, you can plan to meet your needs before the time arrives for them to be met. Choose something to consciously focus on and apply foresight. What can you see that you will need in a few hours or days or weeks? Once you recognize what that is, be sure to write it down and schedule time for you to take care of that need so it's ready when the time comes. How would it feel? Just take a moment. How would it feel to live ready because you developed your foresight and aren't caught off guard? That you can take care of yourself no matter what situation you're in. Knowing both sides of this experience, I can tell you it is a wonderful feeling to live ready because of developed foresight. If you didn't pause and do this exercise, please take the time to do it and experience it. You'll be glad that you did. Building on what Gandhi said, which I've talked about in previous episodes, Gandhi says, your beliefs become your thoughts. Dr. B says, so choose your beliefs carefully They're going to occupy a lot of your thinking time. Gandhi said, your thoughts become your words. Dr. B says, so choose your thoughts carefully. They become the vehicle for your expression. Gandhi said, your words become your actions. Dr. B says, so choose your words with care so they can accurately steer your actions. Gandhi said, your actions become your habits. Dr. B says, so choose mindfully based on what you want your shortcuts in life to be. Gandhi said, your habits become your values. Dr. B says, so pay attention to the habits you allow yourself to develop. You may regret them later if they truly don't serve you. Gandhi said, your values become your destiny. Dr. B says, we spend our time on what we value, even when it's not what we say we value, and it's not congruent with our goals and our dreams. So consciously focus and choose appropriately, because you'll be glad you did. Develop your foresight well enough to stop yourself from consciously focusing on things that don't align with your true values and run your life into the ground. And then set your intention and consciously focus on what you want to bring into your life rather than what you don't. Are you ready to commit to transforming your life in a 15-minute-a-day increment? If you are, great. What's your first commitment? Be sure to celebrate your commitment in the Facebook group with the Wednesday Wins posts. We all want to know. I want you all to know that there is real hope for resolving the challenges that you're experiencing with your focus and with your foresight. The needless suffering of millions of adults around the world has to stop, and I'm doing what I can to stop it with this generation, with us. We all need to address our conscious focusing and foresight if we want to live the life that's possible for each of us with the changes. We can all develop our executive function skills. They're just skills. And when developed in a methodical way, they arise to support us as if they'd been there all the time. I say that because I'm thinking of a student who didn't have foresight and developed it, and now talks as if it's always been there. It's very exciting. We have to be the person who lives the life that we say that we want, not struggle to live the life we say that we want, so we can become the person someday who has that life. We need to be the person first. We all need empowering beliefs, essential pre-skills, and well-developed executive function skills to thrive as adults in today's world. Because if we can't work with time, plan, organize, prioritize, start, and keep going until the end, or if we can't regulate our states of overwhelm and analysis paralysis so that we can more easily make good decisions and know that they're good decisions, it's going to cost us dearly. In fact, I'm sure it's already cost you a lot. Slow down and become a student of your own life. Understand what you need to succeed with your multifaceted brain that you have. Take action on what you learn about yourself. This is the life work that lies ahead of you if this is your time. You came to this lifetime with an empowering gift, and I would love it if each and every person on this planet were able to express his or her unique, empowering gifts freely without the threat of being shamed or criticized. Let's put an end to that stigma once and for all, for generations to come. I have a medley of favorite quotes about focus that I want to share with you today instead of just one. Alexander Bell said, "Concentrate all your thoughts upon the work at hand. The sun's rays do not burn until brought to a focus." Will Durant said, "We are what we repeatedly do." Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit. Bruce Lee said, "The successful warrior is the average man or woman with laser-like focus." Zig Ziglar said, "I don't care how much power, brilliance, or energy you have. If you don't harness it and focus it on a specific target and hold it there, you're never going to accomplish as much as your ability warrants." Steve Jobs said, "Focus and simplicity." Simple can be harder than complex. You have to work hard to get your thinking clean to make it simple. But it's worth it in the end because once you get there, you can move mountains. Mike Hawkins said, "You don't get results by focusing on results. You get results by focusing on the actions that produce results." Jacqueline Leo said, "One look at an email can rob you of 15 minutes of focus. One call on your cell phone, one tweet, one instant message can destroy your schedule, forcing you to move meetings or blow off really important things like love and friendship." Ralph Marston said, "Your destiny is to fulfill those things upon which you focus most intently." So, choose to keep your focus on that which is truly magnificent, beautiful, uplifting, and joyful. Your life is always moving towards something. Oprah Winfrey said, "Energy is the essence of life. Every day you decide how you're going to use it by knowing what you want and what it takes to reach that goal, and by maintaining focus." John Carmack said, "Focus is a matter of deciding what things you are not going to do." Anthony D'Angelo said, "Focus 90% of your time on solutions and only 10% of your time on problems." And I would add, live a solutions-focused life. You'll be glad that you did. And lastly, Og Mandino said, "It is those who concentrate on but one thing at a time who advance in this world. The great man or woman is the one who never steps outside his or her specialty or foolishly dissipates his or her individuality." Focus, focus, focus consciously with intention. All of these quotes say to me that because I am 100% responsible 100% of the time for the outcomes in my life, it's up to me to develop my abilities to consciously focus and have foresight so that I end up where I want to be in my life. And because I am a solutions-focused person, I'm always asking myself, how can I? Rather than thinking I can't, that there's no way forward. Whether you're learning from my podcast episodes or live videos, or you're working with me directly, you're in my world and I'm here to serve your needs. So be sure to reach out and get your needs met. It's up to you to take action so things can change for the better for you. And they can only change for the better for you if you change. 2 priorities for you. Join the Facebook group so you have a non-judgmental community to lean into. And put yourself on the wait list for Adventures in Achievement Foundational Skills Program, so you start receiving the educational email series that we created just for you. If you enjoyed today's episode or any of the other episodes, please share this podcast show with others. I would also be grateful if you'd rate the show and write a positive or inspiring review on iTunes so I know I'm meeting your needs. It means a lot to me to know that your life is getting a little bit better every time we get together like this. Be sure to check out the show notes for the many opportunities available to you, as well as ways we can work together and you can stop your needless suffering. You will find real solutions to the challenges that you're experiencing, and I would love to help you realize a new freedom. That is, if that's of interest to you. Thanks for listening. Until the next time, bye for now.
Thanks so much for listening today. If you're eager to make positive changes in your life and stop overwhelm and confusion from derailing you, head over to drbarbaracohen.com and see how Dr. B can help you today. Whether you love learning in an online group environment with personalized coaching or prefer the pace of guided self-study, Dr. B offers the skills, strategies, and individual support you need. Get started on your journey today by visiting the website at drbarbaracohen.com.